Hi everybody, welcome back to Facepalm Studio, and on today's IT Tuesday, we're going to be going over how to safely remove and work with your USB drives. Something that I've been looking at a little bit closer of something that people just tend to rip these things out of their computer, and it can cause some serious damage to your system if you're not careful. So join me today, and we're going to be able to go over some of these best tips and tricks on how to use your USB disks. Why do you need to safely remove your USB drives? Well, there's a few different reasons. One of the biggest ones is that when you just rip one of these things out of your computer, first of all, be careful because it could cause damage to the device itself. If you break this thing, all your data is gone. I can't help you there. If you're working with one of these and you know that all your files are done and it's a safely remove, you just pull it right out of your USB drive, but then things still don't seem right. You load this up and it says, oh my gosh, we need to scan this. Do we need to do a repair? One of the big things that we see when we're doing work with these kind of USB disks is when you plug it back into the computer after not safely ejecting it, it causes problems where it's asking for you to do one of these repairs. And it's intimidating because you're like, oh my gosh, is all my data going to be gone? Or all my pictures from 2018 gone off of here? Well, odds are no. Those safely remove features help to prevent the USB disk from being corrupted. However, some of them, if you just pull them out and you run that scan disk, there are the times where things might not work still exactly how you're looking for. So we're going to go over some tips today on how to safely eject these, why it's important to safely eject them, and just the do-all of how to get this working the right way. First, we're going to talk about where to go to safely eject these flash drives first, or any USB media really. Anything that has storage related with it, you have the ability to eject. So the first way we're going to do it is I'm going to take you guys down over to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Over here, over in the bottom right-hand corner, this opens up the Show Hidden Icons menu. We also call this the system tray. When you open up your system tray, there is a little USB media disk thing here that says safely remove hardware and eject media. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and you'll see here that I have the ability to eject my Easy Store, which is my 8 terabyte external hard drive, or the USB that I'm using for this demo. And so when we go ahead and say eject USB, it will then give us a prompt that says this device is now safely able to be removed from your system, and then you can go ahead and remove it. If I didn't notice that my USB hub was on the floor, I would have removed it a little bit easier. But now you can safely remove it. I got a little audio prompt saying that it was removed, and now we're good. That was safely removed. Now I'm going to plug it back in. And let's go on to our second method. The second method to be able to remove one of these devices is if you're actually in the device menu itself. So for example, this is the blank folder for this USB drive. All you do is you can hit the eject button, and then it will take you back to this PC. It will close the menu you're in. You get the same prompt to be able to safely eject it. You are then able to be able to go ahead and remove that device. The third method that I use to be able to remove these devices is if you go over into this PC, you then are able to see the different disks you have on your system. So what we want to do is you want to find the hard drive or the USB you want to remove. You're going to right click on it, and then you're going to say eject. That will also do the same thing. You'll see that the removable disk is still shown by the system because it has not yet been removed, but now it is safely able to be removed from your system. So now we can go ahead and unplug that. Now, why do we do this? Now, there's a few reasons why that happens. The biggest one that we find is to help prevent the removal of corrupt data off the USB disk. So say, for an example, you're working on a project, you're rushing to get things done, and then your laptop's about to die, but you need to get this turned in. So you hit save on your Word document, and then you close out your project and you remove the hard drive without safely ejecting it, like how I just showed you. And then when you go to plug the USB back in, it has you run a scan, and then you go to open your Word document and it never actually saved. It says this document is now corrupt. You cannot work on this. That kind of data loss can happen if you just rip the USB out of the computer. People don't really think of that because nowadays, safely removing the hard drive, it's going to be fine. Like, Windows is more up to date now. You can't risk that. You still can. Sometimes these disks can cause some of that corrupt data, especially if the device is still caching some of that read and write data, because sometimes hard drives take a little bit of time to transfer some of this data over. So for example, let me go ahead and just plug this demo flash drive in. And we're going to go ahead and wait for that computer to recognize it. Is it in all the way? No. All right, now that my computer's recognized the demo hard drive, I'm just going to start transferring some data over onto here. So let's grab a file off of my footage drive here. So we're going to go into Facepalm. Let's just grab a screenshot off of here for something that I've been working on. And we're just going to grab this little document here. So I'm going to go ahead and just drag this over. Why? Cancel. Okay, I guess not that one. What do you mean? All right, so we were able to move this over here. And that's not a really big file for us to be able to worry about. But now if I was just to safely remove this, or not safely remove this, I'm just going to remove this disk and then plug it back in. My system still recognizes it. But you can see here that my bit definer, my antivirus, is running a scan on this. And it still is checking to make sure that things are working right. And in this case, that this system is still recognizing this file. But if I was to do that over and over and over again to just really rip this thing apart, there's a chance that that file may not work again. Or if, say, you have a larger file, for example, say if I wanted to put one of my videos on here. So let's just grab a small file here. Let's copy this. And we'll go back to the disk drive here. I'm going to do paste. So this one is actually going to be transferring this data. So say, for example, if I just rip this out now, it's going to stop. It's going to stop that recording. It's going to tell you that an unexpected error occurred from keeping you from copying this file. And it's because I just ripped the drive out of here. So I'm going to have to say cancel on this. Now if I go back to plug this back in, it still shows that part of it was able to copy over. So if I go to open this up, it's going to tell us that something couldn't happen because this file format didn't get transferred over properly and it can't play now because of this. So say if you were in a rush and you're trying to hurry to get things moved over, especially with like video files and stuff like this, MP4s are very finicky about how to get this to work. So if you're working with an MP4, any little thing can corrupt one of those. And that's why I created this video over here in the channel. I'll put a link over here about creating lossless video formats because, well, in this case, we did pull this drive out as it was transferring, but MP4s are very finicky. So if you're working with those kind of video formats, they can corrupt very easily. And this is a good example of that. All right, everybody, this is where I'm going to be leaving you today. Thank you guys for joining me today on IT Tuesday. If you have any more questions or anything you want to hear about or see on this channel on Tuesdays or Thursdays when it comes to tech, leave them in the comments below when you go to subscribe to Facepalm Studio. We also do have a Facebook and a Twitter. Feel free to go ahead and leave us questions and comments there too. We'd love to interact and we really would like to get some more feedback on things that you guys would like to see. So until next time, guys, keep creating, save the pain, and we'll see you guys on the next video.